Okay, so the first stage that we're going to go through, we're going to do this in kind of like in sections. First of all, what I've done, just move all this out of the way, is I have cut out, just simply by folding, in fact it's easy to show you this, by folding that in half, a piece of fabric in half, and then just cutting that shape and then unfolding it, and you've got yourself a heart. And then basically once I got one, I then folded over the other pieces of fabric and cut round that basic shape, so you get about the same size. But remember, it's going to be a shabby flower pendant. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to sew these pieces together, and then with a decorative stitch on my sewing machine, and then I'm going to stuff it and then carry on sewing. Because I want to see the decorative stitches, I don't have to turn it inside out. I mean, if you were going to do just a normal like a heart to hang, I would probably also make sure that they were all the same size, and then you would turn it inside out and then just sew it up to a certain point, stuff it, and then hand sew it. But that's basically the start. So I shall be going off and sewing that in a minute, but first what I think we will do is the nest here that I've got. I'm going to show you how to make this particular nest. So I have got some wire, I think this is 0.9, or if not it's 1mm wire, and I have got 3 glass pearls just here. Now you can use anything you like, so, or any stone you like anyway. So what I'm going to do is probably take about, I don't know, we'll say, if I cut that there, that's probably about half a metre, so probably about 50 centimetres, maybe a bit more. And what we're going to do is we're going to thread on our pearls. So we'll thread 1, 2 and 3. Just check. You can see. This is really annoying because, sorry about this. There we go. That's a bit better. About there. Right. So we've threaded on our 3 pearls here, and what I'm going to do then is just literally get them so they're in a triangle. Just move that out of the way. Get them so they're in a triangle, and we're just going to twist. So they're now fixed in place. Okay, so now what we're going to do, because we've got the twist here, straighten these out a bit. Now, depending on how you want to do this, you could turn this into a necklace pendant if you wanted to, but this one I've done flat, so we can either sew it onto the heart or glue it onto the heart. And what we're going to do is we're going to create the nest. So I've twisted it, and then we'll twist this piece over here. Hopefully if I hold it up here you might be able to do it. And then just literally going around the stones and twisting. And what I'm going to do is just do this around here, and then, and remember, it doesn't have to be uniform because it's a nest. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now what we're going to do is take one of your ends, and I'm going to run that through here. Run that through other end and run that through the other side. This just anchors everything together. Okay, so we've got now the basis of your nest. Again, I'm just going to twist and twist and twist. Now I'm going to go back through this way. I'm going to twist and twist and twist. Keep going, sorry. Right, so we're now getting the basis of your nest. I'm just gonna see if I can pop that one down into there. There we go. And like I say, it just acts as an anchor for your. If I was going to do this, as a pendant, I would probably cut a bit more wire so I could make the bail easier. Just get this because it gets a bit tricky to pull it out after a while, and then we're just going to do the same with this one. Pop it through. There we go. Pop that through there, and then they're facing the same direction. As you can see, the nest is now building, so we just keep twisting twist, and every single one you make will be different because obviously that's the way my work can be. So we're just going to pop that one in between there. Now remember, you can use your pliers just to get in there and make different. In fact, I'm going to do that, have that coming over there. And then, so, I mean, that's just an example of your nest. Give that a squidge down, I think. Just squidge it if you can. And then what I'm going to do with these ends, these would be, if you were making a pendant, I would probably wrap that and then have that as your pendant. Because we're not, we're going to be using it in our project, I'm just going to cut that bit, get my round nose pliers and make a loop, and then we're just going to create a spiral. And this will also help if you want to glue it down, because then it's something flat. But also if you wanted to sew this onto anything, like let's say you were making a necklace, at least then your metal bits aren't scratchy and they're not going to poke out and hurt anybody. So we'll just do that again on that side. Oops, sorry. And then there you go. We're just gonna do that. I mean, you could actually just have them sitting out underneath if you really wanted to, if you wanted it to be a bit more decorative. But there we go. So now we've got our base. So that's how I have made this particular one. Okay, so that's one element. The next element we're going to do is to make, where are we? There we go. these little wire roses. So I'm just going to show you how to make one of those. So again, get our wire. Come on. Down here. Get our wire. So lose our little bird because we need him. And I'm going to probably cut about 6 inches this time. And this time we're going to find the middle just by making a loop like this. Get the 2 ends together, and then roughly, I'd say that was probably in the middle there. So I'm going to go down to there, and then we'll cross over like so. You can see, like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to twist. This is so tricky. Right, and then I'm going to swap over to these pliers here, and then again bring that wire round. You'll see this a bit better. There we go. Right. And then we'll just do sort of the same as we did with the nest, and at this time you're just bringing it and you can see the flower there. Forming. So whatever colour wire you have, just bring these elements together, and as you can see, and again each one of these will turn out different. Okay, so we're just gonna do that. Now then, bring that under. As you can see, we've still got the loop there. Now you could make these into little buttons if you really wanted to, and leave it at that. And then what I would advise is, if you're going to do that, I'm just going to pick up these wires, because obviously then you don't want them to be scratchy. So I'm just going to cut one wire and cut the other wire. Pliers. I'm just going to twist those under. Twist. Oops. And that one under, because remember, you don't want it scratchy. Okay. And there you go. If you rub your finger along it and you don't catch. Hello. Focus. Anyway, right, so if you rub your finger on it. Hello? Mr. Focus Man. In there. Anyway. So if you rub your finger and it doesn't, then that's fine. So here, there are 2 of your elements that we've got already. Okay, so, but if you wanted to, you can bend that loop over, but there you've got yourself, you could make some cute little buttons for a top or something. So that's your elements, or some of your elements there for the necklace. Hello, focus. Oh, so they're your elements. So we'll move on to the next section. Okay, so the next part, I've gone ahead and sewn it with my decorative stitch on my sewing machine, and I've just put a bit of stuffing in. So I've just done that. So that's part of the pendant there. So because I have a lot of white thread, I coloured it in with frayed burlap so I could use it to sew. So what I'm going to do is, you can glue these on or sew them on, whatever you'd like, but I quite like the fact that this is going to be shabby chic, so I'm just going to see if I can. It's not really something I've done on camera before, is sewing, so there we go. Just sew this pendant on. Really what I should have done was perhaps done this before I sewed it together on the sewing machine, but you live and learn. I suppose it just depends on how confident you are, and remember it is shabby chic, so what I'm going to do is just go under there, same again, just to secure that in, like so. Okay, and like I say, remember it is shabby chic, so you can get away with a little bit more when it's shabby chic, I think. But I got my inspiration from this from good old Pinterest. As we all know, Pinterest is amazing. And you could have these as just wall hangings. You could put lavender in these. You could make them into tooth fairy pouches. You could put a little pocket in the front and make it into a tooth fairy pouch. Or anything like that, you know. Or even just a fancy goodie bag. I don't know. Gift bag full of goodies. That's where I was going with that one. Right, so we'll just watch your fingers, because I always seem to stab myself. Right, one. Go back through that way. And two. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew all the other elements on, and then show you when I've completed it. Okay, so now we're back, and I have finished sewing on our components. So I've got the two roses, the nest and the bird, and in the meantime what I shall do next is just move these things out of the way, and I'm going to grab a couple of, now these things here are called ribbon ends. You get these from eBay or like jewellery suppliers and things like that. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put one on one end, squeeze and squeeze, like so, and one on the other end here. There, and squeeze, squeeze, and they'll just sit in there, and then you can connect that to whatever you're going to use for your necklace. Now I'm going to use some chain on one side, and then I don't know, I haven't made up my mind yet. I don't know, I think I'm going to use some of my seam binding or sari ribbon, and we'll come up the top here, and I'm going to put in some more pearls. So I'm going to have a little play about with that, but to show you how to attach chain, I'm just going to, whenever you have a jump ring, remember, always pull it north to south. Never go east or west. Always pull north to south. Okay, so we're just going to pop one in. Now we could have another set of pliers somewhere. Oh, there they are. There we go. And we'll just pull those together. So you've got one connector, and I'll just show you, yeah, so you always pull that way, and then we'll pop that into there. Oops, there we go, and there's a other connector. So we've got our jump rings on there. I mean, you could have that as a wall hanging or whatever you like. So I should just pop my jump rings back, and then I'm just going to take my chain and my jump ring, pop that in there, and then close it, as you can see. And then I'm going to do it, just going to measure it and see how far down I want it. So I'll probably go just going to do the same with that, and then put that back together. She says. So we've got some spare chain, that's cool. And then what I'm going to do is, I think I've got some lace here, instead of it just being a chain. What I'm going to do is just run this up and down the chain, and we will do that, and then I can show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay. Okay, so I have now finished, and I'm going to show you what I have done to finish it. As you know, I put the chain on and then just wound through some of my lace. Now this lace I got in a pack from Verity Rose. I got a whole load of Verity Rose stuff from Crafter's Companion, and I basically just used that through there. And then up here I have got a some of the sari ribbon, and I've just tied a knot in the end there and popped that on there. And then I've rosary linked these glass pearls. In fact, these glass pearls have got like an AB finish on them, so they're sort of a bit aged. And then I had one of these keys that I made, a wirework key that I've made, so I popped that on there for a bit of difference. And then as you can see, I've got my bird, my flowers, and the nest that I made. And then this is the decorative stitch that I used. And then underneath I've used a thimble, just an old thimble, and how I've done this is I've created a loop on the top here, and then I've just created a loop underneath in there, and then popped that in, and that is how that's staying. So that is my my shabby chic necklace that I have made. And what I will probably do is I shall probably take some photos, and you can see the finished product then. So I hope you like it, and I hope you've enjoyed some of the little tutorials for making some of the components. Yeah, have fun everyone, keep crafting.